Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RC on Track. We have our 112 scale 1242-9 climbing car by WL Toys. We got it wet. The brushed motor got wet. The generic ESC got wet. And so we replaced it. I took the whole car apart. I'm pretty sure all you got to do is take the 2 screws out of the bottom for the steering servo and the 4 screws for the motor mount plate, and it should just fall out. But I took it all apart to do the job. So it is what it is at this point. But what I can say is upgrading it, it's going to make it faster and more reliable as far as going through water and whatnot. It's got we put a F540 brushless motor. It's a 4370 kV motor. They work pretty well. It's from Superpass. The ESC I'm putting in is from Superpass. I had to take the cooling fan off of it, but I don't think that I know I shouldn't take the cooling fan off, but it absolutely will not fit in the car with it. So we took it off. I don't think it's going to get hot enough to overheat because of the size of the battery we're going to run. It's not going to have a long run time on the battery. It's just a little, what is this thing? 7.4 volt, 1600 milliamp, 30C burst, 11.84 WH. Was that watts? No way. Maybe? Anyways, just a little 7.4 LiPo going in it. So with that being said, the next thing that we got to do is get the rest of the screws in this mounting plate, put the shocks back onto the mounting plate, and mount the new ESC in, make sure our top's going to fit. We're going to put a balloon around the receiver so that it can stay dry when it goes through water. If you don't seal it up, then you're going to have a big problem with shorting it out. So that's what we're doing. A few of my cars are broke down. The T-Max broke, and it's about dollars and cents now. I got to buy new axles for it, so I'm not even putting it back together until I get the axles. The Slash needs new axles, so I found a set. They cost $60, so that's on the back burner until I save up enough of my play money to play with my hobby. But oh yeah, and then my my Amazon cheap upgraded car broke. It blew apart the pinion gear, which in turn ate up the spur gear, and I'm not replacing that. So I took the upgraded parts and put them in this. My friend, my neighbor Jesse, he's going to get rid of a couple of his little WL Toy 112 scale race cars, and I'm probably going to be the person picking either one or two of them up off of him, and that's to help him out with getting his X-Max, and we'll have plenty of videos of that. We're going to do competition videos with the X-Max and the Creighton together, and we're going to do hill climbs with it. I don't think I'll do any distance jumping with the Creighton because I don't want to break it anymore, and I already have, honestly. Jumping the Creighton, if you're out on the sand, it works great because the sand takes the blunt force. Jumping at, over concrete at the skate park or whatever, you're going to bend up your shock towers. It's one of the flaws with the Creighton. But we are going to do a side-by-side comparison, basically video of the X-Max and the Creighton 6S. And then the X-Max that he's getting, I believe, is the 8S. So we'll see how they compare. Our Creighton is down. It needs new pinion gear. I used the spare pinion gear that came with the kit with the car on our Hot Bodies car, and I'm not going to tear that car apart to fix the Creighton. So that's going on. Is there anything else? our WL Toys crawler, the blue one. It's got a broken front axle, so we're gonna mod that out. And again, that's another money. Got to save money up to do that. So that's another project we'll have coming up. We have the weak, cheap, styrofoamed grave digger, 1/5 scale, that we took the brush motor out of, put in a brushless motor. Basically, we're just going to take it to the river bar and try to do water crossing with it. My daughter wanted to keep it, so I was like, all right, we'll just upgrade it. Once that breaks, we're going to actually take the panel top off and put it on our what is that thing called, on the T-Max. So with all that being said, guys, enough chit chat. Let's get this thing back together so we can get a run. And this video right now is just basically a little bit of a how-to on this car. If you have any questions about teardown and rebuild, just hit me up in the comment box and I'll see if I can help you out with that. So real quick, where we at? Okay, so we got to put the screws in this mounting plate, so we might as well get that started. I was up kind of late last night doing this and it kept getting interrupted, so every time I tried to shoot the video, I got further done with the car, got more and more done with the car, but I kept getting interrupted, people yelling, people playing, you know, and it just interrupted the video. So that's why you guys don't get the whole rundown with this one. I don't think that screw goes there. I think this screw goes to something else altogether. Or it's just stripped out. What's going on? So we are missing our mounting plate on the steering somehow. That sucks. So there's something going on that's causing me grief right now. And I believe it's stripped out plastic. So we'll switch to screws. So they got fine thread screws that go back, you know, that go to this, and I don't know why they want to use fine thread, but that's what they used. So we'll go back with a coarse thread, and that will definitely keep it together. Yeah, there we go. Like, that's perfect. You can feel it cutting into those old threads. And need one more. It's a cool thing about having broken cars, you end up with a bunch of screws. So I've gotten lucky. Just like that. All right, so now mount the shocks. So I believe they're adjustable. They look like they are. I don't think I need to adjust them though. They feel good. Come on. If you guys scroll through my videos, you'll find the video where I submerged this thing on accident. Had it too close to the water and it fell in. I believe I was trying to cross a piece of concrete or something to that effect and ended up flopping it in the water. But it did pretty much well destroy the electronics that were in here. This is probably the most tedious part of this whole thing, is putting all the screws back in. All right. So now let's get the ESC mounted and hopefully everything's going to go smooth with this. So when you take your fan off, there's some screw holes that you definitely want to seal. I just used little dabs of hot glue into the screw holes. The fan plug, I went ahead and sealed that too, so I don't get any cross conduction with water. And then everything else is already pre-sealed. We're going to have to extend the battery wire. Power plug here has to be extended, and that's pretty much well it for this thing. But we definitely need to get it mounted, plugged in, so we can set the top down and see where we're at. If I have to do any modifications, I'm hoping I don't have to butcher the console area inside this, where the seats are. There's the center console, and I'm hoping I don't have to butcher any of that stuff. This is the car we want to do a little animatronic character in. There's another YouTuber out there that's doing that, and I find it to be cool, so we're going to attempt to do it ourselves. We just got to find a figure that's going to fit in there, and after watching a few of his videos and seeing what he's doing, you got to find the right action figure to take apart and use for that application. But with that being said, let's get the hot glue plugged in, and that'll take a couple minutes. And then we can continue on with our mission here of making this thing extremely fun. We'll do a real quick overview of what's been changed. The motor. It's old 540 brushed. I mean, they've brought the brushed motor, these cheap ones, they brought them a long ways from when I first started messing with RC cars. I mean, they changed a lot. The ESC combo, absolute junk. WL Toys does make good cars, does, whatever. Need more coffee. So they do make good cars, just their electronics are really weak, crappy electronics. Yeah, you call it what it is, and that's exactly what it is, just cheap electronics in these cars. Our WL Toys Muscle Flame 112 scale, we totally modded it, and it kept breaking the steering servos, which are these little tiny ones. And I bought all metal geared, super good servos, and it just kept breaking them, and I just started getting really irritated with that. And so I took the car apart again and put in a full-size 1/10 scale or 1/8 scale, whichever you want to say. We went ahead and put a full-size servo in it, and works fine. This 112 scale came with a full-size servo, which is laying around here somewhere. Where's it? Right here. It's a 5-wire, and it will not work with the upgraded ESC. We'll keep it for scrap parts, who knows, might use pieces of it later on down the road. So back to what we're doing. Let's go ahead and get this thing plugged in, heated up, put the ESC on, and we'll go from there. Alright, so bear with me. Alright, our hot glue gun is nice and warm. Let's go ahead and get this ESC mounted. Hope that's enough. Just like that. Okay, so this wire, it has to come all the way out to like right here, so we got to extend it like 4 or 5 inches. I'm just gonna take the solder off here and here, put on extensions, reattach the plug, and we'll call that part good. We need to plug our motor in, and I believe it goes just like this: red, yellow, black. So the wires we'll zip tie them together so they can fold over towards the back like this. And hopefully that'll hold it. Yeah, I'll see why not. I think that's going to work fine. Okay, so I plugged in a Ovnik battery. It's a little bit bigger than this LiPo here, but go ahead and use this one real quick, just to kind of give it a test fire. Love that thing is squealing. Well, now it swells the tires. Watch that. That means that it's going to be 100% funner because it's 100% faster. We'll probably end up replacing these 4-link bars. The whole assembly on this thing will get replaced. I haven't been able to find the rear axle for a metal upgrade, but I found everything else except for the chassis. Everything else you can get metal. I think they're called pitman arms. Those I'll probably keep plastic until they break. The metal ones, we all know that they come loose, they get wobbly. So I'm not 100% on the pitman arms, but I do know that everything else I can get metal. So we'll probably go that route. Because once you make these little cars go faster, they just ultimately end up getting broken. You'll hit something, just shred it. So plan on replacing stuff with metal, like your steering knuckles, your A-arms. Those are excellent pieces to replace with metal. These little shock mounts up here, they swivel. Those are good to replace with metal. Their mounting position needs to be replaced with metal. So it's a lot of metal that you got to buy for the front of this thing. It will change the weight ratio on it, so be prepared for that as well. Let's go ahead and get this thing unplugged. And so I'm going to unplug the receiver for the moment and just kind of set this wiring harness down in here like so that we can do a dry fit with this top. What is hitting? All right, it's gonna fit, so we're good there. So the next step then is just extending this battery wire, mounting the receiver, and making sure it's waterproof by putting it in a balloon. And we're pretty much well golden. Oh yeah, and I gotta figure out where I'm putting this little guy. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna skip all of that, and I'll show you the finished product, of course, and then we'll take it for a run. To save time on the video, this is going to conclude this first part of this video, and when we come back here in like a millisecond, we'll be on to the next stage. All right, so bear with me, you guys, and continue to watch. All right, you guys, so we got it all back together. We had to cut out a portion of the floorboard so that the ESC would fit in there, but it doesn't look bad, so it is what it is. It was just a very little bit of the floorboard that had to come out, so I'll probably get a piece of plastic, black plastic, form it, and set it back over the top of that. I kind of don't mind it being out because we don't have a fan on the ESC, so therefore a little airflow through there will help disperse the heat that comes off of that. Right now we got the Ovnik battery in. It's a 7 point what? It's a 1500 milliamp 50C burst, 7 point whatever, 7.4, what is it? 7.4 volt. So the build is complete. So now I'm going to go ahead and end this video of this build, and we will do a run video and a short video of this car. So in conclusion, it was not the hardest build out of the collection, but it was definitely an improvement. So like, share, and subscribe, and you'll see the videos get posted of my cars, whether they're upgrading videos, repair videos, or run videos, or even sometimes unboxing videos. As we go right now, we're done. So again, like, share, and subscribe, and thank you, and we'll see you on track.